When I have seen, by time's fell hand defaced, the rich, proud cost of outworn, buried age, when sometime lofty towers I see down-raised, and brass eternal, slave to mortal rage, when I have seen the hungry ocean gain advantage on the kingdom of the shore, and the firm soil win of the watery main, increasing store with loss, and loss with store. When I have seen such interchange of state, or state itself, confounded to decay, ruin, hath taught me thus to ruminate, that time will come and take my love away. This thought is as a death, which cannot choose but weep to have that which it fears to lose. Sonnet 64. Kind of a downer. I mean, I don't know, downer's maybe the wrong word. It's ominous. It's revelationsy. I don't know. It's very end of the world feeling in terms of its tone. But on its whole, the theme is an echo of some of the earlier themes we've seen in some of the sonnets. The kind of depressing reality of monuments, like what is a lasting monument when compared to the ravages of time. Like, okay, you make a statue of someone because the statue is going to last longer than that person when they're gone. You want to commemorate the life of that person, but I mean, stone is not eternal, and that's a best case scenario, is that, you know, the stone's going to just wear away eventually, and that's not to account for the ravages of war and cities being razed to the ground and monuments being destroyed, you know. So and so while I would say that in this particular piece Shakespeare doesn't really end on a hopeful note, which he sometimes does when he references the fair youth living eternally through his writing. It's kind of interesting, actually, now that that kind of just hit me, that he doesn't really like even throw that in at any point. He's just kind of depressed at the prospect of, like, man, nobody can escape time, even this beautiful thing that I have been writing about. But, you know, it got me thinking that, you know, earlier in some of the earlier sonnets, he had mentioned that, you know, that's immortality, is I'm going to write about you, and that those words are going to live. And I would be inclined to agree that, you know, it's something that we don't think about very often, that a physical thing is like a false sense of security in terms of its ability to last, versus the written word. If you write something down and it's good and people publish it and it's, you know, then that, I mean, Shakespeare is a perfect example, right? You know, he wrote stuff 400 years ago, but none of it's perfect, right? You know, we have text from Shakespeare, but it's not perfect. It was transcribed. There are additions. There are translations. There are typos. There's a game of telephone that occurs. Similar, I suppose, in the way that, you know, a statue is trying to represent a physical thing, and even like the greatest sculptures and statues do have a good likeness of its subject, but it's imperfect. There is a loss in translation there, and then ultimately, over the years, things can be lost. Texts can be lost. You know, the Library of Alexandria is lost. You know, like. So yeah, there isn't really such a thing as permanence, but that's okay, I think. Yeah. So Sonnet 64, a little bit of a downer. I like the repetition in the first line, lines 1, 5, and 9 all start the same way, and he's even got a few more interspersed with the when I have seen, when I have done, when I have this, when I have that, when I have that, and it just kind of builds and builds. It's almost like he's resisting he's resisting futilely the unstoppable force that is time, and he's just like, no, he's resisting, but I mean, you can't win. Yeah, this kind of went to a dark place. This song, it just like I just in the pit of my stomach, like saying the words, I just didn't feel good. So that's, yeah, interesting. I don't, it's interesting because there's similarity in themes and subject matter to some of the other sonnets, but I don't remember the others feeling this kind of like down. So that's interesting. So yeah, that was Sonnet 64. Um, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a piece next week. I think the plan was to do Love's Labor's Lost, and I may still do that next Sunday, but I've got some plans going on through the Thanksgiving holiday. Things may get a little crazy, so next Sunday may be a wash. But if there's no Love's Labor's Lost next Sunday, I will do the Love's Labor's Lost the following weekend. And then it's just a few more sonnets, and then Romeo and Juliet, and then that's 2018 in the bag. So yeah, thank you for watching.